On September 19, 2017, Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico as a Category 5 hurricane. It was one of the most powerful storms ever recorded in the Atlantic Ocean, and its impact was devastating. Maria caused widespread destruction, knocking out power for months, causing flooding and taking many lives. For Puerto Rico, the storm was a catastrophe that changed the island forever. This tragic event reminds us just how powerful hurricanes can be. But what exactly is a hurricane, and how do these massive storms form? Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about hurricanes, what they are, how they form, and some interesting facts you might be curious about. But before we dive into the science, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as this is extremely important for us and it allows us to continue creating content like this. Thank you. So, let's start with the basics. A hurricane is a large, swirling storm that forms over warm ocean water. It's also known as a tropical cyclone, and it's classified as a hurricane when its wind speeds reach at least 74 miles per hour or about 119 kilometers per hour. Hurricanes are powerful because they combine strong winds, heavy rain, and even storm surges, which is when the ocean rises and floods the land. These storms are given categories from 1 to 5 on something called the Saffir-Simpson scale. The higher the category, the stronger the winds. A Category 1 hurricane has winds between 74 and 95 miles per hour. A Category 5 hurricane like Hurricane Maria has winds above 157 miles per hour or 252 kilometers per hour. As you can imagine, that can cause a lot of damage. Now, let's talk about how hurricanes form. For a hurricane to develop, several things have to happen. First, you need warm ocean water. The water has to be at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 27 degrees Celsius. This warm water acts as a fuel for the storm. It causes the air above it to heat up and rise. Next, you need moist air. As the warm air rises, the water vapor in the air cools down and forms clouds. This process releases heat, which helps the storm grow. Third, you need something called converging winds. These are winds that come together from different directions. They cause the warm, moist air to rise even faster, which helps the storm develop. When all these things come together, a small disturbance over the ocean can start to spin. As it spins faster and faster, it forms what is called a tropical depression. When the winds reach 39 miles per hour or 63 kilometers per hour, it becomes a tropical storm. If the winds continue to increase and reach 74 miles per hour, it becomes a hurricane. Once a storm becomes a hurricane, it will continue to grow as long as it stays over warm water. If it moves over cooler water or land, it will start to weaken pretty quickly. That's because it loses the heat and moisture it needs to stay strong. Alright, it's time to look a little deeper into the science of hurricanes. A hurricane has a very interesting internal structure. At the center of the storm is the eye, which is a calm eye with little or no wind. Surrounding the eye is a eyewall, which has the strongest winds and the heaviest rain. This is the most dangerous part of the storm. Outside the eyewall, there are bands of rain that stretch out for hundreds of miles. These rain bands can cause flooding even far away from the center of the hurricane. One of the forces that helps hurricanes spin is called the Coriolis effect. Because the Earth is rotating, it makes the wind spin in a circular motion. In the northern hemisphere, hurricanes spin counterclockwise, while in the southern hemisphere, they spin clockwise. Scientists use satellites, radar, and airplanes to track hurricanes. These tools help them see how strong a storm is, where it's going, and how much damage it can cause. The planes that fly into hurricanes are called hurricane hunters. These brave teams gather important data to help predict the storm path. What are the major impacts that hurricanes can have? The biggest danger from a hurricane is the wind. High winds can knock down trees, power lines, and buildings. But hurricanes also bring a lot of rain, which can cause flooding, especially in low-lying areas. One of the most dangerous effects of a hurricane is something called the storm surge. This is when the strong winds push the ocean onto the land, causing the water level to rise suddenly. Storm surges can flood entire towns and cities in a matter of hours. One of the most catastrophic storm surges in US history happened during the Katrina hurricane, that reached up to 9 meters along the Mississippi coast, one of the highest storm surges ever recorded. Hurricanes also cause economic damage. After Hurricane Maria, Puerto Rico faced billions of dollars in damage, and many people were left without homes, electricity, or clean water for months. The environmental impact is also huge. Hurricanes can destroy forests, coral reefs, and animal habitats. But now here is some interesting facts about hurricanes. Did you know that hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean are named by the World Meteorological Organization? They use lists of names that alternate between male and female names. This makes it easier to identify and track storms, especially when there are several happening at once. Alternating between male and female names helps avoid bias and promotes equality. When a hurricane is especially deadly or destructive like Hurricane Maria, its name is retired and never used again to honor those affected. The word hurricane comes from Huracan, the ancient Mayan god of wind and storms. Hurricanes don't just happen in the Atlantic. In the Pacific Ocean, they are called typhoons, and in the Indian Ocean, they are called cyclones. While the name changes, the danger is the same. Now, let's look at the top 3 strongest hurricanes ever recorded based on wind speed. In third place is Hurricane Helene in 1980, with the winds reaching 190 miles per hour or 305 kilometers per hour in the Atlantic Ocean. In second place is Typhoon T in 1979, with a similar registered wind speed of 190 miles per hour in the Western Pacific, also known in the Philippines as Super Typhoon Warning. And the strongest hurricane ever recorded is Hurricane Patricia in 2015, with winds reaching an incredible 215 miles per hour or 345 kilometers per hour in the Pacific Ocean and hitting Mexico. So, to sum it all up, hurricanes are powerful storms that form over warm ocean water and can cause massive destruction. We have talked about how they form, their structure, and the science behind them. We've also looked at the impacts hurricanes can have and shared some interesting facts about these storms. As we remember Hurricane Maria and other devastating storms, it's important to stay informed and prepared. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more educational content like this. Stay safe and I'll see you at the next one.